How to improve a 704 credit score. After 2 years, if you want to improve your credit score fast, here's the solution. Pay your balances in full, keep your spending under 30% of your total limit, and diversify your types of credit. Sounds simple, right? But it's not just about paying bills on time. There's a strategy to it, and I learned this the hard way. A couple of years ago, my credit score was stuck at 704. I was paying everything on time, didn't owe much, and thought I was doing everything right. But my score wouldn't budge. I finally realized that credit scores don't just reward good behavior, they reward specific actions. First, let's talk about credit utilization. If you're using more than 30% of your credit limit, it can hurt your score, even if you pay it off each month. For example, if your limit is $1,000, you should keep spending below $300. And here's the hack. Keeping it under 10% is even better. When I learned this, I adjusted my spending, and my score started climbing. But here's where I made a big mistake. I thought not using my credit cards at all would help. Wrong! When you don't use your cards for a while, banks can lower your limit or even close your account. That happened to me. I didn't use one of my cards for over 6 months, and the bank closed it. That hurt my score because I lost the credit history tied to that account. Now, I make sure to use all my cards regularly, even if it's just for small purchases like gas or groceries. The trick is to pay it off immediately. Another factor? Variety. Creditors want to see that you can manage different types of debt. If you only have credit cards, it's harder to boost your score. A few years ago, I added a small car loan. It wasn't a big debt, but paying it off on time gave my score a nice bump. You don't have to go into massive debt, just show you can handle more than one kind of credit. One more thing that made a huge difference: asking for a credit limit increase. Every 6 months, I call my bank and request an increase. For example, my first card had a $500 limit. I asked for an increase, and they bumped it to $1,500. That instantly lowered my utilization rate and helped my score climb. Most banks will say yes if you've been paying on time, so don't be afraid to ask. Now, let's talk about applying for new credit. Early on, I made the mistake of applying for multiple credit cards at once. Each application resulted in a hard inquiry on my credit report, which lowered my score. I didn't realize that applying for too many cards in a short time looks risky to lenders. What I should have done is space out my applications by 6 months. If you're considering a new card, start with something like the Discover It card. It's easier to get approved, which means less stress. Fast forward to now. 2 years ago, I was stuck at 704, and today my score's at 800. The difference? I started being strategic. I used my cards regularly but responsibly, kept my utilization low, added a small loan to diversify, and tracked my progress with tools like Credit Karma. It's free, and it helps you understand what's working. Just don't obsess over checking it every day. Credit building takes time. 2 years is just the start. 5 years is when the real magic happens. Before I go, I want to hear from you. Have you been stuck with a score that won't move? What worked for you? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear your tips. And if this helped you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on managing your finances. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.